We're not even going to tease this one. We're gonna start the entire episode off right here with our numbers, what we're reviewing the entire Paizo book, Pathfinder 2nd edition. What is your number?
I'm going to give it, and this might seem generous to some people, a 9.2.
Okay, that's
what about you?
That's pretty good. I mean, good is a stretch for that. I'm gonna give them an 83. So I mean, 9.2 is kind of low.
Out of what?
Wait, what scale are you using?
Out of 10!
Oh. I was going out of 90. 0.5, of course.
Oh, God.
Alright, get the cut. Don't cut!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
I'm Indigo.
Today we're here to talk to you about Pathfinder 2nd edition. This time, we're going to be doing a review, like a full-fledged review. We're going to tell you the things we like, the things we don't like, the things that are kind of meh and can go either way.
The reason we didn't come out with a review straight out of the bat is, one, I think we really wanted to do a deep dive in the classes, and we thought that that would be more helpful for the people that are already getting into the game,
right,
than just a flat review.
So views, one.
The second reason is I wanted to play it.
Yeah, you have to play the game before you review it. Caveat, and I think we should give a couple caveats. I have only played a player, and you have only played a GM.
Yes.
I mean, playtest stuff aside, for the full release of the game.
Even playtest, I've only GM'd.
Did I GM the play? I don't know.
No.
Anyways, whatever. That's one caveat. The second caveat is this is a game that gave our YouTube channel a bunch of views. And so you might think that that gives us a conflict of interest. We don't personally think that that gives us a conflict of interest. We don't think it spoils our opinion. But obviously, we're just going to put that information on the table for you guys to decide for yourselves. The other thing is that Paizo has sent us things in the past, right? We have early access to books sometimes. We have like materials and stuff that they give us for free. You should know that as well before you take our opinion. Again, we don't think that affects our opinion, but we have to tell you to be open and honest with you as a content creator.
I will say, for those people that have joined us because of Pathfinder 2nd edition, welcome.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
The key thing for me, and I know that you share this, is that we feel that even though we are receiving this content, it's better for us in the long run as if we're honest with our users than we are with the people that are sending us stuff.
I've spoiled your vocabulary.
You have, oh God. Viewers, not users. That's IT speak for losers. It makes more sense for us long term to be honest with our viewers than it is for Paizo or anyone that's going to give us content for free, because it's like, while we are getting that for free, we're then ruining our reputation. Like, we don't want the reputation of like IGN where everything's like a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, shots fired. Jesus Christ. Calm down.
What's IGN gonna do? Buy us?
Would that be how much?
We want to be able to have that reputation of like, this is an honest review of something, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
There are definitely things that we dislike about it. I know for sure, like, all things forward, I love this.
Yeah, I mean, like, baseline, this is great, and I would recommend it to anybody that likes fantasy specifically.
Yes.
If you're not into the fantasy scene, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
But that's, like, duh.
First, we're gonna go over all the things that we really love about the game. The first thing for me is best action economy that's out there.
Literally, hands down. There's I can't fathom somebody debating that. That having been said, I haven't played every RPG that exists. But from the big players, 100%, super the best.
It's the easiest to catch on to, it's the easiest to learn, and there isn't really confusion. Comparing it to D&D 5e, where it's like, okay, everyone has a move action, has a standard action, they have a free action, they have a reaction, and there's a bonus action. And you're like, that is a lot going on there, and you don't always get to use some of them, and some of them require different, like, some of them only work for bonus actions, while some of them take up a full action, but if you want to move twice, then it's your move action, and like, it gets muddy.
Exactly, but with Pathfinder, you just have 3 actions. Your abilities, your spells, your actions that you can do, like fighting or running away or whatever it is that you want to do during your turn, cost a number of those actions. You also still have the reaction mechanic. You also still have the free action mechanic, but I feel like it's way more clear what things require what kind of action. The symbology they used for free action, reaction, action are very, in my head, plain and
simple.
Sure. The thing from 5e that I don't like is bonus action. Bonus action's some nonsense to me. The fact that it's not here is just, oh God, thank you.
The second thing I would like to say that I really love is that I've been watching like people on Reddit like go through and look at classes and compare numbers, and it seems so far super balanced.
Okay, and I will say, and you use the caveat seems, I will use the caveat feels balanced. I don't feel, and I'm using feel because I didn't do the math, and I'm not going to, because I actually don't really care that much,
Sure.
like to be completely honest with you. I feel like the classes are equally powerful. I don't feel like a martial character is nerfed to oblivion relative to a caster. I feel like any martial class can defeat any caster class. Maybe that goes back and forth at various levels, but it's not like a blowout. Like, oh, after level 3, casters win forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely some spells that like negate the existence of martial classes. You know,
Right.
like just like being able to open a gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
cool.
I can retreat and there's absolutely nothing you can do to find me. Like, cool, bye. But like also there are ways to like negate that. There are, for example, reactions in the game that let you follow a retreating character. So like if you, and this is hyper specific, if you can use 2 reactions on one turn and like follow a wizard to a portal and then let them open it and then follow them through it or something like that, like it's possible to stay close to somebody that's retreating in that fashion. It's not black and white. It's not like, oh, this is objectively
No,
like
no,
100% balanced, and that's never going to be the case. And I think it would be boring if it was.
Yeah. The same numbers, just like painted different colors.
Exactly.
It's like cool.
Yeah,
And it's
no,
like, eh.
not interested.
The next thing I would say that I really love is the plug and play system of how each class works, and the way it seems that they're going to be introducing additional classes and or additional ancestries within it. Cool, we're going to introduce an additional ancestry, and while there will probably be additionals to the base, the fact that humans have a half option. I can see tieflings being in there.
Yeah.
You know, I can see different types of sorcerers having different bloodlines that
Sure.
give them specific powers. We're just going to use feats as our like pool of things in which people can choose from.
That's the great thing about the feat system as far as expandability and what you were talking about is that like you can literally just add new feats for a class, and then that is like growing that class. If you add a feat for every level or like a set of feats, a feat tree, that potentially also opens up the door for people to branch out into that tree while they're playing a campaign without having to retcon anything, without having to like, oh, my character wakes up and now he can suddenly do these things that nobody knew about before. Woohoo! That doesn't make any sense. The other thing about the plug and play stuff is the archetypes is so, I love the archetype system so much. And it's super easy. You don't have to do any like complex, like, ooh, the prerequisites are right there.
The math that was involved in other things of like, oh, what skills do I get trained in? Like in previous iterations in like other fantasy or other role-playing games where it's like, oh, you wanna cross class? Okay, well, here's this like quadratic equation that you had to put together.
Quadratic.
I always felt discouraged from multi-classing because of how complicated
it added a layer of complexity. It's literally with second edition, you pick a multi-class feat, and then now you've unlocked these other feats, and then you pick those feats instead of your class feats.
Yeah.
It's just a different feat. It's a different pool of feats that you've unlocked. It could not be simpler.
And then the only other caveat to that is, oh, you can't take another.
Yes.
You can't take another, archetype feat
until you have taken 2
of the one that you started.
Yeah.
I do like the crunching games. Like I love like the building.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit simpler and like a little bit.
Not only does it make it simpler, it has the potential to be as complex or as simple as you want it to be. If you want to play a rogue, you can literally just do the whole thing and pick rogue feats and be fine. You will have a character, right? You could also like very specifically target certain archetypes based on like what you want the character to be capable of doing well, and then pick those in a specific order to give you the optimal performance per level. Like there's a lot of intricate planning that you could do, but you can ignore all of it if you want to, and any character that is a just pure class with absolutely no branching into other areas of the game is still going to be strong.
Now that brings us to the last thing that I wanted to talk about things that I really love about this game is the fact that there is crunch. There's some nice just crunchness to this game. And the fact that you don't have to add it if you don't want to.
Yes.
I think that that's really enjoyable. There is a ton to this book. I think it was like 600 pages this book is. But you don't have to bring this in. You can just, like I think that the most complicated thing, which we'll go into in the things I dislike, is conditions.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I can add them or not add them based off of how I want to play. If I don't want to add a condition, cool, you take a -2 to whatever I feel is beneficial to that situation.
Yeah, it's like there's beautiful crunch, but if you are the person who does not want to deal with any kind of crunch, you can just GM it away. I'm not saying that is an exclusively Pathfinder thing, right? It feels really natural here to be able to just be like minus whatever circumstance penalty to whatever, or +2 circumstance bonus because of this, instead of going through the book and looking up the thing. And you'll be close enough, almost certainly.
Yeah, and an example to that is Core to Corvids, you failed a fortitude save when you were drinking.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
-2 circumstance penalty, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it does.
Yeah, I mean, you, of course, as a GM could screw it up and be like, -40 because you're so, but like
you die.
Yeah,
you die if you get a -40 to anything.
But like,
okay, so I'm left with the shitty job of coming up with something good that I like after Indigo's taken all of the ones that I already like.
I wrote them in the show notes, so he can go fuck himself.
He's right. I really like the way that classes like feel flavor-wise. I think they really hit the nail on the head, matching the feats of a given class to the class fantasy of that feat. We use class fantasy a lot here. It's a term that I heard with World of Warcraft initially because that's how they try to design all of their classes. I think it is a good thing to apply to every role-playing game that is class-based. And this system hits it on the head. When I'm picking monk feats, I can see very clearly what class fantasy for the monk applies to each monk feat. Is it the key monk who's like, I'm gonna punch you and then this burst of energy comes out of my hand and hits you and explodes and you take so much damage? Can I like lift you and throw you over my back? Do I like get into these weird poses to like do the chupapa? I don't have any karate training, so that probably looked very silly.
You definitely had chupapa training now.
Chupapa. But it's not just monk, like druid has like the polymorph or the animal companion thing or whatever, and all the anathemas that are throughout the game, like they really drive the character to make sense, but they are also not so restrictive that you feel like, oh, I'm gonna pick a champion, that means I can't do X, Y, Z. You can do almost anything. It's just, if you want to play a good character, you have to be a good character. And so if you don't want to be a good character, why did you pick a good character? There are some restrictions there, and some people might not like those, but I personally think that all the restrictions that they have in place leave you enough freedom to make the character who you want the character to be, while at the same time providing you some fun challenges to overcome that fit what you should want the character to be, I guess.
Yeah.
I also really like the way that shields work. I honestly think the shields thing is super realistic and it might be too crunchy for some people, but fuck, I love the shields.
Well, now we're going to go over some stuff that we don't like. I didn't actually write this on the notes, but when you were talking, it kind of clicked in my head.
Are you talking about shields?
You were talking about feats.
Oh.
I would say that while there is a ton of choices, there are some key spaces that I feel that there aren't enough.
Sure. Like I could see some of them being like 70 to 80% there instead of like 100% solid. The monk key tree is really good, but the monk like grapple tree maybe could use 1 or 2 more feats. Like it kind of peters off at high levels and I don't know why.
I would say like for the alchemist, one of my favorite classes, the first tier of feats are like, cool, you're a bomber. Just be a bomber. The only option you have is to be a bomber. And you're like, but I want to be a mutagist. And they're like, cool.
Pick some bomber feats.
Pick a bomber feat. And you're just like, what? Why? I would say general feats are also a little lacking as well.
I think I agree with general feats lacking.
I think the skill feats are great. I just feel that like, because you can take a general feat and that general feat can be a skill feat, but a skill feat can't be a general feat, there should still be a decent pool of general feats.
And I think there are enough general feats that whenever you can pick a general feat, you can find something to pick for most classes, I guess I should say.
But that was kind of like where it led for me.
Sure.
Like it felt like when I would choose like go into my general feats, I'm like, cool, I want to choose a general feat. I know that I've got skill feats, but I want to choose a general feat. And I'm looking through them, I'm like, cool, I'm choosing a skill feat. Like there aren't enough here for me to really enjoy. And so
I think this is a problem per class.
Well, and I feel that it will be something that progresses as we get additional books.
Almost certainly.
But I just feel like right out of the bat, I'm just like, I'm not 100% there.
Yeah.
I will say the other thing that I'm not a huge fan of is how deep the game can get in the crunch, that you as a GM, if your players pay really close attention to what their character can do, and you as a GM are spending a lot of time on story, which you should be doing, you can really screw over how things work. You as a GM creating a story, creating this big bad, and your fighter's like, cool, well, I'm using this sword that has this specific trait that's able to block this thing, and your big bad's basically useless. And you're just like, mother,
Didn't think of that.
you as a GM, there's so much to this book when it comes to those things. It really talking to your players and finding out what parts that they want to use is really important.
Yep.
It is a negative in the sense that it can be very overwhelming, but I think as time goes on and as a GM you get more comfortable
That's what
with
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Over time that will disappear. We can't pretend that right now we are as competent at this system as we ever will be, because we're not. Like that over the years, hopefully, we will get better and better at at GMing, at building characters, so on and so forth. And we will look back at the very first build video that I put out on YouTube and I'll be like, why'd you pick that? What the?
I'm just saying that like if you're trying to go full-fledged all the way in,
You have to be a very thoughtful individual to pull it off. I'm going to start with something small.
Okay.
Character sheet.
Yes, I believe it is a known thing that there's a lot of people that are unhappy with it.
Character sheet.
I'm with you on that one.
Character sheet. I don't think I have to.
I don't think any of us has to say anything more
I just don't like the character sheet.
because Krug's gonna show you the character sheet.
It's been on
right
the
now.
screen probably for a hot minute, yeah. It could use some work.
Yeah. There are, I will say, community-wise, there are some great community created.
There are some great community created ones. There are a bunch of like drive things that I've seen that are just like a spreadsheet if you're more of like, I would like the data and none of the frivolous nothingness. I think those things are pretty cool if that's the kind of person you are, I guess. But yeah, I couldn't do this review without saying the character sheet is very lacking and you have to put in some effort yourself as somebody who wants to play the game and not use it, because you're almost certainly one of those people, in order to find a different character sheet that's community made. If Paizo makes another one.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean,
because there has been a lot, you're right, of people in the community that are like, hey, what the fuck's up with this character sheet?
Yeah.
There's also some like small stuff that just makes me feel like it was done carelessly, like some like spacing things that were like, I'm like, I don't know, like some of the things in the weapon section are like aligned weird relative to each other. Like you'd expect them to be
the tips of the axe.
Yeah, or just like, what are you
lines
doing?
up
What is
and
this?
goes into the next section.
Yeah, I hope I can capture that and put it in the video somehow, because I don't think that the way we explained it just now made any sense. I think despite all those things, overall, I would definitely recommend people play Pathfinder 2nd Edition, like we said before. If you feel like trying it, you should definitely check it out. There are tons of resources you can use online that are very helpful and like completely legitimate because of the way that Pathfinder releases its content through the OGL. Give it a shot if you're interested in like playing the game more after that. There's tons of adventure stuff you can buy. There's tons of like supplementary things that you can buy, and more is going to be coming out as time goes on, and that's really exciting for both of us.
Why don't you head down in the comments and let us know what you think of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. While you're down there, make sure that you hit the like button.
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and then don't hit the bell icon, and then go over to Twitter and talk to me there. You can talk to me there at IndigoQT.
And you can talk to me on Twitter at QueueTimes, or you can talk to both of us at all these social media things down here. One of them is Patreon. If you feel so inclined, if you'd like to give us money, you can do that. You can type in a number, and then it will send us that money every month.
Well, I was gonna say the other thing is that we've promised people that we haven't done yet is we're supposed to put their names in credits at least once a month.
Oh.